Hey guys, it's been a little while, hasn't it? I've upgraded, got some merch now. Hit me up if you want to get some of that. Anyway, we're back. Almost a year later, and I still have conversations at the track regularly. People asking, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? So, and still like YouTube is the video where it's popping off with most of these views, most of these people asking questions. So it's time for the review. Might have to start doing these 6 monthly. I've got a new contender to add to the market. Got the Nike Maxfly, got the Adidas Prime SP2, got the Asics Metaspeed SP. Now, quick rundown. My last video, these, I decided that they reigned supreme. Now, I've probably given away a little bit, seeing as this is on the top and these are on the bottom. There's still some strong advantages to this one. And here we have a new contender in the market, in the shoe world. Quick recap, I like these more because of the synthetic upper. These are a great spike, the Adidas, but the 3 times I've worn them, my plantaris did flare up. I do want to try them. I nearly had them on the other day at the track. I do like the spike, but given the sentimental factor, the colorways, all this kind of thing, I did prefer this one. Really, let's get into the video and I'll do a pretty good comparison for you and we can start going through. So I'll start with the Asics Metaspeed SP2. It's a nice spike. You can see it's got 1 and a 2nd carbon fiber plate. Obviously this is the main one. It's very, very stiff. It's a synthetic upper, like the fly wire, like Nike kind of thing. The laces are nice. It's got an okay colorway. It's got a nice rough heel, which is good. A big advantage over these ones where it's not going to slip down in the block. I have tried the spikes. I haven't raced in it. I have run some fairly quick times in them. But what I've probably noticed most is that these are an expensive spike. They're $320 Australian to have. And for $320, you want this to be a damn near perfect spike, if not perfect. And unfortunately, they're not perfect. It's probably something personal for me, but this spike plate makes a weird noise. It's a squeaky, weird noise when the track is wet, and I really don't like it. So like, just from the noise factor and the sound it makes when you hit the track, I actually don't like too much. Second thing is, I'm a no sock kind of person when I sprint and when I train. And this has got like a leathery heel. As soon as my heel gets a bit wet or a bit sweaty, it literally feels like the spike's gonna fall out. Even when it's locked down with that extra hole, it still feels like my heel's gonna slip out. So unfortunately, that's another con. Some big advantages of the spike is that like it's very stiff. You need to be very strong to use it. Very similar to the SP2 in that like it gives a bounce because it's got that foam there. But it also feels like you're touching the ground, which is a disadvantage of the Maxfly, is that it feels like you're off the ground. Whereas here you feel like you're still touching the ground, but you have that foam and that extra little bounce there, which is nice. I do like how well you can tie it down. And obviously like this synthetic upper, like depending on what you prefer, it is obviously more of like that see-through kind of color, and the only one colorway in this bright pink. It's already pink, whatever you want to call it. And the advantages also of this is that it's got a wide toe guard, so if you toe drag like this, you can see when this one I've been toe dragging, it's cut away at the rubber a little bit, so that can fade. Same as the Maxfly, like the shoe itself can get pretty damaged, whereas this has got a nice wide toe guard on it. So if you are toe dragging, it's probably just going to be the toe guard that's going to get busted as opposed to the actual shoe, which might not last as long. So from a durability factor, I think this is a very good spike. Maybe that's where the $320 comes from, in that it's Australian AUD, that is. I know I have a few Americans listening. And that like this might be a spike that will probably last a little bit longer. But as I said, I think I was really excited for this, but I think I'm quite disappointed in that, like, for the money I spent on this shoe, and for you as well, buyer beware that if you don't wear socks, your heel's going to slip out pretty quick. It does have that nice feel, but it doesn't quite have the same bounce as a Maxfly. And yeah, as I said, it feels like it's not, I don't know, it feels like because it's got quite a wide toe guard that you can't completely lock your foot down. So, you know, they're the pluses and minuses. I'll provide them here now. So, and a couple of videos of me running. So, see, I can get to a nice position. Like, my mechanics don't change. Like, I run pretty well with it. But yeah, those pros and cons, I think for the cost of the shoe, it doesn't outweigh, you know, me wanting to buy a Maxfly or a Prime SP2. Prime SP2s are hard to come by. So I'll refresh the spike on this again. Is that this has got a cloth heel, so you're not going to slip out. You can really lock your foot down. It is a little bit more of a narrow shoe, so you feel like you can really, like, it snugs you. This feels like, you know, your foot's in the shoe, which is really nice. Whereas the Maxfly, you feel like your foot's on top of the shoe, on top of the plate. Whereas your foot, it feels like it really wraps it. That's another thing with the Asics SP2 as well. It feels like it really wraps the shoe, wraps your foot. Same here with the SP2. It wraps the foot really nicely. It feels like you can really tie your foot down. It's got that awesome bounce. The shit thing about this is the spike plate, it slips down the blocks. If you have any kind of midfoot pressure, it's very glossy, so it just slides down straight away, which is a bit of a shame. And yeah, as I said, like, the colorways that Adidas have come out with some new colorways, so they're pretty good. Like, you know, they're alright. The blue and the bluey yellowy one looks pretty cool. But yeah, as I said, unfortunately, I really do like this spike, but it's just flared my plantaris up. I am contemplating trying it again, because at least I know the signs. But yeah, I think good shoe, good spike. Unfortunately for me personally, my plantaris gets flared up. But I think the clear winner is the Nike Maxfly, because a big strength that a Maxfly has compared to Adidas, especially in Australia, for some reason they don't want to send a shipment over. I don't know why. Adidas, what do you have against Australia? Send some friggin' spikes out here, man. People would buy them. Is that Nike, they come out with new colorways. Like, this is my favorite colorway so far, like bright with a nice little bit of pink on it, not overbearing with pink, and not like kind of boring black and green goblin kind of style. The laces on this are like the little ribbed ones where they stay together. It's a cloth heel, so your heel doesn't slip out when you're wearing your foot. It's got a nice bounce. It's got a nice feeling. Like, I haven't spoken to anyone that doesn't love the feeling that you get with a Maxfly when you're upright and you're running and you're nice and tall. I've done my most races in these spikes, and they have been my quickest runs. I should say that the Adidas SP2 really feels really nice in acceleration again, because it's like that really stiff plate, and it feels like you can touch the ground more. I think is more important for acceleration. But once you get up, and if you know how to run with the Maxfly, like, it feels awesome. And like, I think another thing with the Maxfly too is that because it has so much on the heel, when you're doing your speed endurance reps, your 250s, your 300s, your heels are going to touch the ground, and you probably don't need a training spike. Whereas for these two, you might need more of a distance spike to you know, like, sort of really help you with those speed endurance sessions if you feel like your heel or your arch is getting a bit banged up from, like, you know, being in such a stiff, aggressive position. So as I said, the clear winner, the ultimate spike, given sentimental value for me personally, but accessibility, colorways, the feeling you get at Max V, and the combination, like, it's taken all of the good points. It's got the straight feeling spike that the Asics has, but you know, whereas this pulls you up on an angle. It has the good spikes, it has the good colorways, it's reasonably priced. It's the cheapest of all these super spikes. This could cost you $300, $350, $400 by the time you get it to Australia. If you buy this at the right place at the right time, you can get it for $250, maybe plus postage. Like, it's cheaper, it's the cheapest of the super spikes, it's the most accessible, it's got the good colorways. I think, unless you really want to, don't go purchase the SP2, the SP. Consider the SP2, but I think my choice is definitely the Nike Maxfly. So a year on, nearly a year on from my last video in January, the Nike Maxfly still comes out on top. Hence I've got it on top of this podium here compared to these other two jokers. Let's see if the Puma ones, I can't wait to get my hands on a pair of those. or even the New Balance SDXs or Power Xs. I'd love to see how they go. New Balance Puma, if you want to send me a pair, wink wink, I can give you a review, see if you can actually knock Nike Maxfly off the pedestal. But for now, this is the spike to get. This is how I've run my fastest races. It's accessible, it's great to train in, great to race in. And I would also say too is that from the black Air Zoom Up Tempo spike, they have changed. Now it's not official, but they are definitely a different spike. I'd call it generation 1.5, I guess you could say, in that the spikes are slightly narrower. Definitely a little bit narrower and apparently more durable, because I haven't heard of a single person popping the black ones, the white ones, or the blue ones that have come out. Whereas the mint spikes, the green ones, the OG ones and the pink ones have popped a few times, whereas from what I've heard, these haven't popped at all. I haven't popped a pair personally of any Maxfly yet either, knock on wood. So there we have it. Bear in mind, maybe try a size on if you can. Maybe go up half a size if you know you're really snug in the current size that you have. But all in all, Nike Maxfly is the winner of the Speed Performance now, I guess you could say, or Jack Darcy's Spike Review from November 2023. Let's see if any new models can knock this off its pedestal, but it hasn't yet since my first review back in 2021. Thanks for listening.